Your former chief of staff testified under oath about a conversation which Karl Rove told you about complaints of former New Mexico U.S. Attorney David Iglesias and two other U.S. attorneys for not being aggressive enough against so-called voter fraud. When did such a conversation between you and Karl Rove take place?
What I recall, Senator, is that there was a conversation where Mr. Rove mentioned to me concerns that he had heard about pursuing voter fraud or election fraud in 3 jurisdictions: New Mexico, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as I recall.
How many, going back to New Mexico, how many conversations about New Mexico with Mr. Rove?
Senator, I can only recall of that one conversation.
You recall when that was?
Senator, my recollection was it was in the fall of 2006.
Do you remember where?
No, sir, I don't remember where that conversation took place. And Senator, I don't recall either whether or not it was a phone conversation or was an in-person conversation. But I do have a recollection of that conversation.
So when was David Iglesias added to the list of U.S. attorneys to be replaced?
Of course, Senator, when I accepted the recommendation, I did not know when Mr. Iglesias was in fact added to the recommended list. As I've gone back and reviewed the record, it appears that Mr. Iglesias was added sometime between, I believe, October 17th and December 15th. But I was not responsible for compiling that.
Was added either before or after the elections, but you don't know when. Is that what you're saying?
Senator, I just responded as to when I believe. As I've gone back and looked at the documents, it appears he was added sometime between October 17th and November 15th.
I understand, but you don't know when.
Senator, I have no recollection of knowing when that occurred.
Do you know why he was added?
Again, Senator, I was not responsible for compiling that information. The recommendation was made to me. I was not surprised that Mr. Iglesias was recommended to me because I had heard about concerns about the performance of Mr. Iglesias. Certainly, I'd heard concerns from Senator Domenici.
And who else?
Well, Senator, certainly.
And Karl Rove?
What I know, I heard concerns raised by Mr. Rove. And what I know today, what I don't recall the specific mention of this conversation, I recall the meeting, is that there was a meeting in October with the President, in which the President, as I understand it, relayed to me similar concerns about pursuing election fraud.
When was that?
3 jurisdictions. Senator, I've gone back and looked at my schedule, and it appears that that meeting occurred on October 11th.